Call it a recession, call it a meltdown, or call it an adjustment. We are in some interesting economic times. But so far, Oklahoma has fared much better than the rest of the country. As our Hannah Wright explains, Oklahoma's resiliency in this season of economic turbulence is more than just luck.
Slump, crisis, turmoil, and depression. Words some have used to describe our nation's current economic status. A status that has many wondering just how safe our money actually is. But if you ask Oklahoma Bankers Association CEO Roger Beveridge, he'll tell you something completely different.
It's not something that you have to worry about. I mean, worry about whether the traffic signal is going to be working on your way to work. That's real. Worrying about whether your money is going to disappear in an FDIC-insured bank account is nonsense. You don't have to worry about that.
In fact, Beveridge says there's nothing safer than money in the banks. And where are the safest banks located? Right here in Oklahoma.
And I say that based on the strength of the Oklahoma banking industry, which really is at an all-time high. But primarily, you need to understand that banks are a reflection of the local economy in which they operate. Our economy in Oklahoma is exceptional at this particular point in our history. Energy, agriculture are doing very, very well, and as a result, our banks are doing very well.
These facts and a conservative approach could be why Oklahoma has fared so well. Beveridge also has strong feelings and an alternative name for what many are calling the Wall Street bailout.
It's not a bailout. A bailout is when I give you something for nothing. This is an investment. This is providing money from the Treasury, which has the money, that will create a market for these otherwise toxic securities that absolutely have no market today.
So Beveridge refers to it as a rescue plan. He also says we're saving Main Street by keeping the financial system intact, but admits that some, including him, are feeling the squeeze of the tightening financial market.
It's not just the fact that I've lost 20% on my house or 40% in my retirement account or whatever. It's that it's going to cost me more to buy a car or a refrigerator, and maybe my Christmas isn't going to be as good as it would have been without all this mess.
A mess that was caused, if only in part, by lending companies allowing people to buy homes they couldn't possibly afford to pay back, then selling those mortgages to mortgage giants such as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
There was a flaw in the model, and the flaw was nobody asked the question at the beginning of the process about whether this person could repay the loan. I mean, that's basic banking 101. And fortunately, Oklahoma banks don't work that way. They didn't make these crazy loans and they didn't buy these crazy securities.
With the recent dip in the nation's economy, many Americans are wondering how long they'll be able to stay in their homes. But here in Oklahoma, we don't have that problem. In fact, the housing market here has stayed very stable.
The housing market in Oklahoma is very strong, especially when you consider the rest of the nation. A lot of people are hearing from national media that they're spelling doom and gloom, falling rock bottom, prices down record lows. It's been the opposite here in Oklahoma.
And there's a simple explanation for it.
On the coast, east and west coast, you've had areas that have had 100% appreciation in 1 year. You have markets that steep, you're going to have a self-correcting market. We have not had that here in Oklahoma. We've stayed steady.
The people that got us in this mess aren't the people that you and I think of probably as our banks. Our banks in Oklahoma are solid. They're small generally. They take care of their customers and they take care of their communities.
Even with these positive words, Beveridge supports the theory that the actions of few can affect many. And when it's threatening people's money, you can bet they're going to be upset.
At some point, Congress is going to have hearings and they're going to investigate and find out what did you do and what was your part in setting up this house of cards that ultimately collapsed and has hurt all of us.
But amid the mass of questions and arguments, one good point comes shining through.
And slowly but surely, working together, we're going to get out of this mess. We're Americans. We're Oklahomans. We're tougher than hell.